Welcome. Welcome. We're live. Uh yeah, I just want to put out a short video on the Davante Adams trade. There's been a lot of news recently since I did my my pair of regular shows. Monday and Tuesday. Monday I did the live free agency reaction with Ryan, and then on Tuesday I did Ask DLF, in this case with Ryan. Usually that's with Cal. In the future, it's probably going to be with Addison for a while. But yeah, there's been a lot of news. I don't think I'm going to give any of the rest of it a separate video. There was Julio Jones, Allen Robinson, Raheem Mostert signing, everything with Deshaun Watson, and DJ Moore's extension, and Juju going in Kansas City. And Cordell Patterson signing today. There's all of that. I'm going to talk about all of that on the show with Ryan on Monday, and then I'm sure it'll come up with Addison on Tuesday on STLF. But of all of those things, obviously the Deshaun Watson thing is probably the most fantasy impactful, but honestly, I just don't feel like recording a separate video about that. So we'll talk about that on the show. I just don't really feel like recording in solo on that one. Someone's live in the chat. Any Baker trade news? No, I mean, I posted a Twitter thread this morning about where people think he's going to go. It's really split between Seattle and Indianapolis. Those are the ones that people seem to think are possible. I mean, I would say that, we know Seattle wanted him in the 2018 draft. They thought about trading Russell Wilson for him then. I mean, they've shot that rumor down, but, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube in some ways. But yeah, other than that, no, I haven't heard anything. So yeah, Davante Adams trade. So let's look at it from both perspectives. So first of all, I didn't really expect this trade to happen. I don't know if other people did, but I didn't. I didn't expect it. Adams received a 5-year deal worth $142.5 million from the Raiders as part of this deal. And I don't know. I don't know if I expected a team to give up a first-round pick plus for Adams and pay him that kind of money. I guess the Raiders are the kind of team that would do that. But I thought that the Packers and Adams would work this out personally. But anyway, the Packers got the Raiders' 22nd overall pick, and then their second round pick this year as well. So the Packers will pick at 22nd, and then their own pick at 28th, and then in the second round, they will have their Vegas's pick at 53 plus their own pick at 59. So I would have to think, and I guess we'll start with the Packers. I would have to think the Packers are going to have to draft something at wide receiver, sign somebody. Thought there was a chance they could sign Juju. FF Lefty feels bad for Baker. I don't feel that bad for Baker. He's big failure for 4 years of failure. I feel bad for him, I guess. I would do the same thing he did and try to force his way out, but I don't feel that bad for him. It's a lot of failure. Number 1 overall pick, big failure. So I don't feel so bad. But anyway, from the Packers standpoint, this is a huge downgrade for Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people are not talking about that. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about Aaron Rodgers, the impact of Aaron Rodgers, actually, because I actually think he's the most impacted of everybody. Aaron Rodgers took a massive drop in my rankings from this. I think Aaron Rodgers' ceiling is gone. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback without Davante Adams. He's not. Who are they going to sign to replace Davante Adams? There is no replacing Davante Adams. The best they could do, realistically at this point, is sign like Julio Jones and draft a wide receiver in the first round. That's the best they can do. And that's not Davante Adams. You cannot replace Davante Adams. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers at this point will not rank as a top 5 quarterback in redraft. And in Dynasty, I've dropped him all the way to quarterback 18. He's 38. I have Antonio Brown. No, they're not going to do that. I dropped him all the way to quarterback 18, a 38-year-old quarterback who has no weapons at all. I mean, he's great, but I'm debating him between him and Kirk Cousins at 18 and 19. I have Derek Carr ahead of him now. Derek Carr at 17, who's much younger. Now he has Adams. Honestly, if you told me Carr outproduced Rodgers for 2022, I wouldn't be stunned. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is essentially just, I told people to sell him on the extension just because this was your time to get out and get your maximum value for a 38-year-old quarterback in Superflex. Now it might be tough to sell, but there are still people who see him as a top asset. I would just move on. If you could get Derek Carr plus, maybe you can't get Derek Carr plus, but if you get Mac Jones or Tua plus, I would do it and just move on from Aaron Rodgers. He's essentially, with this trade, he's done to me in Dynasty. I don't want any part of him. Not that I did before, but now I really don't. There's no ceiling anymore. As for, it doesn't really affect the running backs, maybe a little, but I didn't want Aaron Jones before. AJ Dillon I like as a prospect. If Aaron Jones disappeared, AJ Dillon would be great, but he's still there. So this doesn't really affect my thinking on that. As for the weapons they currently have, they tendered Allen Lazard. He's going to be back. He's now worth a roster spot at the very least. He should be rostered. I still don't like him. He's not good. He's total jag. He's just a guy. Amari Rodgers maybe now gets an opportunity. They restructured Randall Cobb, I believe, which is not good for Amari Rodgers because Cobb and Rodgers have a lot of the same skill set. So right now they have Lazard, Cobb, and Amari Rodgers. They could still retain MVS. Marquez Valdez-Scantling hasn't had any interest really on the free agent market. So I would expect it's more likely that they retain him, but this still is not good enough. They need a one. And I think they're going to draft one at this point or sign Julio Jones. But again, Julio Jones is not a one anymore. But let's see what they do. But either way, I'm not super interested in Allen Lazard. Amari Rodgers, I'm more interested in just because there's more potential, but I'm not super excited. Randall Cobb is a waste of time, and we'll see about MVS. They still have not retained Robert Tonyan as well. They have not re-signed Tonyan. I think he's a free agent. I think they could. I would if I were them. They have Josiah DeGuara, who I would put on the back of your tight end premium rosters. He looked pretty good in his limited opportunity last year. Just in case they don't re-sign Tonyan and DeGuara gets a chance, why not? Why not give him a chance on your roster? But I expect them to re-sign Tonyan, and we'll see about that. So just keep wait on to see what their moves are, but not really so interested in the guys they have. I'd be more interested in MVS actually if they re-signed him than Lazard or Rodgers. If they re-sign MVS, he's the best of those three. Still not great. Tonyan maybe the same thing. You could get 10 touchdowns again with no Adams. I'd have some interest. But, they have to actually re-sign those guys for me to be interested in them in fantasy. They haven't done that. And they've had plenty of time. They've had quite a few days. No, apparently they've known this is going to happen. So it's kind of surprising they haven't gotten some deals done with those guys. Anyway, I think that covers the whole Packers side of things. So moving on to the Raiders. Davante Adams is now there. So he's the guy. In Dynasty, I downgraded him a little bit. Not really. I have him now at wide receiver 13, which is where I had him when he was holding out, but lower than where I had him when I thought he was going to stay in Green Bay. And honestly, he's 29. The ceiling is not there for him with Derek Carr that it is with Aaron Rodgers. Davante Adams is not going to be a top. He's not. I doubt he's going to be the wide receiver one overall with Derek Carr. I just don't think so. I think I'm probably going to rank him around wide receiver 5. And next year, with Rodgers, he would have been wide receiver 2 behind Cooper Kupp. Now he's probably going to be more like wide receiver 5 in redraft. And then at 29, I just think that it's time to move on from Davante Adams. In Dynasty, I'm just not that interested. Again, with the ceiling being gone, I don't see him breaking fantasy with Derek Carr. But I only dropped him to wide receiver 13. Not a huge drop. You can still draft him, but not super interested. As for Derek Carr himself, well, I moved Derek Carr up a couple of spots and a good tier in Superflex. Now I'm very interested. Derek Carr has every potential to be a low-end quarterback one for a while with Davante Adams. So I'm more in on Derek Carr than I was before. I was pretty in before. This is the best set of weapons he ever had. So I like that for him. And then, the rest of the weapons on the Raiders. So, at this point, Davante Adams is the one. Hunter Renfrow is the wide receiver 2 in the slot guy, but he's not going to get the volume he got last year. He's not going to get that. So I've dropped Hunter Renfrow to, I don't think Hunter Renfrow is a wide receiver 2 next year. That is off the table. I think I'm going to rank him probably. He just has no ceiling anymore with Davante. Davante Adams is going to be a target hug. So Hunter Renfrow is probably going to rank around wide receiver 30 for me, maybe 35. I don't see it. I think it's the kind of thing where you say targets earned, but Davante Adams is so good compared to these other players that he's going to earn all the targets and everyone else is going to suffer. So Hunter Renfrow is essentially I'm not interested. If you can buy him super cheap, he will still give you something. If you can get him for a 3rd round pick, I'm still interested at a 3rd round pick. But I was telling people not to buy Hunter Renfrow because I thought they were going to add an alpha. And then once they do, if people over panic, then buy Hunter Renfrow. So now you may want to buy Hunter Renfrow, but I'm not paying up for him anymore. And then, of course, Bryan Edwards, cut him. He's completely irrelevant now. They're not going to support anyone beyond Adam. Anyone that's not named Adams, Renfrow, or Waller can be cut from this team. So yeah, cut Bryan Edwards. And then moving to the tight ends, Darren Waller. Darren Waller takes a hit from this for me. Darren Waller's ceiling is gone. He's not going to be the number 1 on this team. You're looking at someone who's going to produce for fantasy, but he's not going to break fantasy. He's not going to win you a league. He's just not. He's not going to do that with Davante Adams there. He's not the number 1 target on this team. He's not. He's just not. So, I probably for next year, I'm going to rank in Dynasty. People are not going to like this, but I have Darren Waller at tight end 7. In redraft, I'm probably going to have Andrews and Kelsey as the clear top 2, Pitts and Kittle 3 and 4, and then maybe Waller at 5. But I have Hawk and Goddard ahead in Dynasty just for the age. I just think, again, ceiling's kind of gone. The old ceiling with Waller is gone. So I'm just not going to hold on to a player that turns 30 in September in Dynasty. He's a hard sell for me and has been the whole time, but even more so now. What would Carr trade for in a 12-team Superflex tight end premium? Well, I would need a top 3 pick to get rid of Carr. So that means I'm never getting rid of Carr. I'm going to hang on to Carr. There's a decent chance that I probably would rather have Malik Willis in this class, but I'm almost certainly going to prefer Carr to every other quarterback in this class easily. And, I'd rather have Carr than Zach Wilson. I'd rather have Carr than Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, I'm not getting rid of Derek Carr so easily. I honestly debate whether I'd rather have Carr over Mac Jones or Tua because I just see those two as having limited ceiling, but we'll see. But yeah, the odds that I'm trading Carr away are essentially 0. I'd be trading for Carr. And yeah, no problem. I got Renfrow. Yeah, hoping he takes targets underneath this. Adam takes focus on substitutes. It doesn't work this way. It does not work this way. This is a narrative that I hear all the time. This is not, you don't want this. It doesn't work that way. Someone like Renfrow needs volume. He succeeded because he had a lot of extra volume and he did okay, good with it. He's not overly efficient, but he caught a lot of the passes. He runs shorter routes. He caught a lot of the passes he saw. So in a PPR, he was good. You don't want those targets to be reduced by 30%. That's how you go from 2020 Tyler Boyd to 2021 Tyler Boyd, from useful to irrelevant. Why? Because an alpha came in there and took a big shit all over his target share. This is what just happened here. So no, this is bad for Hunter Renfrow. Very bad. Hunter Renfrow is a good player, but not someone who earns a massive target share. So this is not good. I do think that it's really good for Derek Carr. Derek Carr, if Waller can stay healthy, if Adams is the same Adams, there's no reason why Derek Carr can't finish as quarterback 1. No reason why. Kirk Cousins has done it in previous years. And honestly, these weapons are not that different. Adams and Jefferson, obviously Jefferson's a lot younger, but Adams probably has about as much talent as Jefferson does now, even if the longevity is not there. And then, Thielen is meh. I mean, Renfro and Thielen. Renfro's probably got more left than Thielen. And then there's Waller here. So, yeah, I think Derek Carr is just as good of a quarterback as Kirk Cousins, not better. So, if Kirk Cousins has been able to be a low-end quarterback 1, Derek Carr, his ceiling is probably around quarterback 9 or 10. But in a super flex, that is a valuable, valuable player. You like Zach Wilson over Carr? No. Zach Wilson has proven nothing. Zach Wilson could be horrible. We know that Derek Carr is good. Is Zach Wilson plus what equals Carr? I mean, I'm an early to mid second for me, which means I'm not making this trade. I'm just going to end up with Carr. I guess maybe I would trade Zach Wilson a second for Carr. No. I think that in 3 years, there's a good chance Zach Wilson isn't starting for anybody, and Derek Carr is still the starter for the Raiders. Okay, so I think I covered everything from this trade. And I hope you guys liked the relatively short video. This one went on a little bit longer, but I appreciate everyone who tuned into the surprise live broadcast. And if you're watching this later, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Oh, put the handle in the wrong place. At TylerFFCreator, my new handle. And then if you're on YouTube and the subscribe button is red, hit it so you're subscribed, like the video, leave a comment. Those are the things that help the algorithm the most. And I will see you. One more question. Yes, I would trade Gibson for the 101. Give me Breece Hall in any landing spot over Gibson. Yeah, so I will see you all on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, where Ryan and I will break down all this stuff in detail.